Nope, that didn't happen. I'm gonna go review now. Lights Out is a new horror film based off the short film by the same name, and it's directed by David Sandberg, and it stars Teresa Palmer. To give you the short summation of this movie, it's basically about a family, a daughter, a son, and a mother, who are basically a really struggling family because their mom is kind of nuts. She's talking to herself at night, and their family is really struggling. They've been through a lot of bad stuff in the past, but there's also this dark creature thing that only shows up when the lights are dark. It can only be seen and it can only do stuff while things are dark. So it's basically like whenever you turn off the light, you can see her. And she can do stuff only in the dark, and she's basically attacking this family, and they have to find out a way to stop this creature and survive, basically. So guys, Lights Out was a movie I was really intrigued by. I never saw the short film until like after I watched the movie. I was curious, so I watched the short film afterwards, and it was really cool, it was really well made. And I was really intrigued by this movie because I saw the trailer, and it really intrigued me, and I was like, yeah, this looks like a really good horror film. But this movie really intrigued me, and I went out and saw it because it was a new concept of horror. And I gotta say, I had a lot of fun with Lights Out. This movie was a lot of fun. But one of the things that I really liked about Lights Out that I was surprised by is that the characters are actually really good. Teresa Palmer plays this daughter who sort of left the family. She's since moved out from the family because their mom is so insane. And she was great in this movie. She was really good. She's also a very good character, and she's not an idiot. She's actually a smart character. And while she's in peril, she's resourceful. She actually thinks. She's not an idiot. She actually has a mind of her own, and she's actually a good character. Because most horror films just have crappy characters that you don't care about, but this movie is really good at having characters that you actually do care about. The kid in this movie was fantastic. Really strong kid performance. I was so surprised with how good this kid was. He was fantastic, and I'd like to see what else this kid can do if he's doing more movies, because he was great in this movie. Definitely another one of the best performances in this movie was the mother, because she's kind of nuts. She's kind of insane, and she's another person in this movie that kind of freaks you out. It's not just the dark creature. She also kind of freaks you out because she has a past, and it's very mysterious, and throughout the movie you're delving into this past, and she was really good in this movie. I really liked the mom. And also the boyfriend, Teresa Palmer's boyfriend in this movie, was actually pretty good. He actually did a good job. He wasn't an idiot. He actually had stuff to do in this movie. He wasn't just a throwaway boyfriend character. He was actually good. I was surprised. Guys, Lights Out isn't just a horror film. It's actually a drama, sort of, because they have really good moments with this struggling family, because all the characters in this movie have had a pretty bad past, and the family is struggling. And this all happens because the mom is insane. And that's one of the best parts about this movie, because it's not just a horror film. It's a drama film about a struggling family. And it was done very well, and it was one of the best parts of the movie. It's one of the parts that makes this movie not just your typical cliche horror film. And the scares in this movie are actually legitimately really good because you actually care about these characters and you care about the situation they're in. You care about their past. You want to know more about the mystery surrounding this movie, because throughout this movie, there's a whole mystery surrounding the dark woman that shows up in the night. And throughout the movie, there's a mystery surrounding her, and hearing about this dark woman's past is really cool. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil anything about that, but that was really cool being able to explore her past. And the third act of this movie is freaking great. It was so much fun. It's what I wanted to watch the whole time. The stuff inside the house is really good, suspenseful scares, because they actually did stuff that wasn't expected. It wasn't totally predictable all the time. There was scares that were unprecedented, and they were great. They constantly surprised me in this movie with the scares, and they were legitimately well done. And as for flaws with Lights Out, I basically just say that I don't think the first half was as good as the second half. I feel like the first half was slow at points, and the second half was a lot better. And this movie wasn't able to scare me as much as I thought it would, because when I was going into this movie, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna sleep tonight, but here we go. I legitimately thought that I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight. I legitimately thought that I'd be forever afraid of the dark after I saw this movie. But it didn't really do that. I slept like a baby after this movie. I was really hoping for some really great thought-provoking scares from this movie. It's not one of the best horror movies you've ever seen. It doesn't have any thought-provoking scares that are gonna scare you later on when you're about to go to sleep. That didn't happen for me, and that was really disappointing because I was really thinking that this movie was going to scare me for a while, and I was going to be legitimately scared of the dark after I saw this movie, but I did not get that. And also, this movie is very simple. It's very short. It could have been a lot longer, but it's a very simple horror movie. Nothing about this movie is going to make you love horror even more. This isn't one of the most groundbreaking horror movies ever made. It's just a fun movie that you can just watch on a matinee price and just enjoy yourself. There's nothing amazing about Lights Out. It's just a simple, fun horror movie. If you're hoping for some thought-provoking scares in this movie and something that's going to change the horror genre forever, watch The Shining. Don't watch Lights Out. Lights Out isn't going to give you that. But I did have a really good time with Lights Out. The guy directing this movie really knows how to make a good horror movie. They know how to scare the audience. They know how to make characters that aren't complete idiots and are actually good. And I really have to give it props for that. Lights Out was a really fun summertime, and I'm going to give it a B+. So guys, if you saw Lights Out, be sure to comment your thoughts on it, be sure to subscribe, be sure to like this video, be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And I'm also having a review for Stranger Things coming up. Really great show, can't wait to talk about it, and yeah. Bye-bye! No, offend my...